Good morning, gang, or evening, or afternoon, or good night, whatever realm you're in as you watch this video. Today, I wanted to answer the question of what is functional fitness. That's definitely a buzzword right now. People are trying to emphasize being functional. Um, and the hard part with that, so the quick answer actually, specifically to me and Jet Movement Academy, the quick answer would be fitness revolving around our most used functions. Okay, so for those of you who don't want to watch a 5 minute long video, that's all you need to know. But to dive into that a little bit more, what I mean by that is um, our bodies are capable of so many things and so many different movements, and those are functions of our body. So really, if you look at it that way, anything could be functional fitness. The ability to do whatever is, can I function? That's such a broad idea. So that's why I think the fitness industry is being able to throw the tagline of functional fitness onto whatever they want. So when I'm talking about functional fitness, I'm talking about our most used functions. Um, so number one being protecting our spine, and its ability to stabilize and mobilize itself and move back and forth from one to the other. Because if your spine doesn't work, and people with back problems will attest to this, if your spine's not working, it affects everything else that you're doing, and it can make things really tough. So posture, spine, number one. Number two is our walking form, or our gait, our walking movement, because really that's what kind of turned us into humans. That's what our jump out of the animal world into being a human is being bipedal and being able to walk on 2 feet. It's what gets us around. It's what allowed us to explore the world, and hunt and do all these other awesome things. So those are the main two focuses in terms of functional fitness for our gym. For Jet Movement Academy, that's what we're looking for is, can we help your spinal alignment, and can we help your gait? And those are really, they can be difficult things because there's a lot of puzzle pieces that allow you to use those things correctly. And there's a lot of things that can get in the way. Now, once you get past those two things, then functional can kind of open up and branch out quite a bit. Pushing and pulling, squatting, getting things over your head, getting up and down from the ground, crawling, running, like the list goes on and on. So for me, I believe if you are dialed in on those foundational things, of being able to control your posture, stability and mobility wise, and able to walk freely with a clean motion, that starts to open you up to all the other possibilities of the movement tree, right? Where everything branches out, and whatever else you want to do is going to be enhanced by your ability to protect your spine and your walking form. So you have to kind of create a hierarchy of movement. What do you value the most, and put that at the forefront of your training. So a great example of an endeavor that is going to make you sacrifice some things is if you look at like a football lineman. A football lineman's job, for the most part, if you're on offense, is to protect the quarterback. So what you're doing is basically pushing on the person in front of you over and over and over and over and over again during a game. So a lineman is going to train to push things, so their knees and their shoulders get jacked up, because they're repetitively doing that motion, and they're moving both arms forward at the same time, sometimes one arm at a time. It gets crazy in the trenches, but those movements don't necessarily support the other, the two foundational movements that we talked about. So they can get away from that and overtrain those movements. And there's a reason why NFL players' careers don't last very long. I can't remember what the average is, but it's ridiculously short. Like if you have an 8-year career, that's longevity. So if we were to train like that, then we're not training for longevity. And so if we can measure what we want to sacrifice, if we're willing to sacrifice longevity, and understand that I'm going to have pain down the road and things are going to be tough later in life, then by all means train that way. What we want to try to do is, can we return back to the foundational things and return back to the basics so that I can add some longevity? So that means training how you want to train, but returning back to those things that are going to kind of recalibrate you. And hopefully that will, equate to injury prevention and maybe recovery, and those kind of things. So avoiding overtraining movements that aren't foundational, basically, aren't going to protect your spine, aren't going to increase your gait and the cleanness of your walking and running form. Like a pull-up is a great example. I do pull-ups. Okay, you can see me in the background right there. I'm doing pull-ups because I got to climb stuff in obstacle course races, and I want to adventure around. I want to rock climb. I want to go to the beach and climb around on the logs and do all that kind of stuff. So I need to do those things to train for that. But at the same time, if I were to only climb and only put myself in those positions where I'm pulling myself up all the time, then I would start to see an impact on that in the function of my spine and my hips especially, and things will get locked up, and later in my life I'll have to deal with that. For a lot of us, it's hard to think that far ahead, and it might not hit you for a long time. So, it's up to the individual how far they want to take it away from those foundational movements. So that's, in a roundabout way, that's kind of the definition for me, is do the things that keep our bodies centered around what we function the most as. Think about 10,000 steps a day. If you're doing, 10,000 wonky hip movements a day, it's going to hurt you at some point. So we always have to come back to those things that we're doing the absolute most and protect those. If you're an athlete and you want to go for it for your athletic career and just kind of send it, that's fine. But understand that you're going to have to pay the price at some point if you're not trying to protect yourself along the way. So basically, if you're going to be sport specific, then you need to get really specific and understand what it takes to prevent injury and keep yourself safe while you're doing that kind of stuff. So functional fitness, what are you doing the most, right? What's your life need? What does it demand of you? And are you supporting that? And then everything else branches off after that. And that's why we have Movement Academy in our name, is because movement is everything. It's all over. It's whatever, right? Everything is moving. It's all movement. So set up the foundation, grow the tree. All right. Thanks for sticking with me. If you're still here 8.5 minutes into this video, I appreciate your support. Let me know what you think about that. Maybe you disagree. I'd love to chat it up. So share, like, comment, do all the fun stuff on social media. And let's talk about it. Hump it.